Chua Kuan Seah. He is the Deputy Chief Executive Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore. The stage is absolutely yours. Welcome. Thank you.
Well, very good morning, everyone. Good morning to the distinguished guests. My name is Kuan Seah. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive of the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, or you can call it CSA for short. Many thanks to Plenary University and the chairman of the Cyber Week, and unfortunately, Prof. just stepped out, Prof. Isaac, for the invitation to speak at the very prestigious event here. Now, the digital space has become so much part of our lives today. We have it integrated into everything that we do, whether for work or for play. Like many others, Singapore sees the growing importance of leveraging on the digital domain to advance our national security, promote our economic progress, as well as to improve the living standards of our citizens. Yet, as the topic today suggests, horizons are transforming, and the digital frontier is a place where change is the only constant. Exponential increases in the speed of data processing, digital technologies facilitating instantaneous comms and connectivity across the globe. New emerging technologies such as AI, machine learning, and cloud computing. The list just goes on. The advancement of technological capabilities aside, we cannot ignore global developments that point towards increasing tensions in the digital domain. In the past few years, we have seen increased contestation between nations and the exclusion of countries from international systems. So when change is so constant in an area that holds great economic, social, and security importance, what we can depend on are robust and unchanging principles and tenets that will guide our navigation. Let me just outline 3 key messages. First, cyber and digital security underpins the trust in the digital domain. A key tenet that remains true even in the rapidly changing digital frontier is that cybersecurity underpins trust in the digital realm. Regardless of the technology at hand, digital adoption and participation requires trust and confidence in our digital systems. No matter how innovative a digital solution is, our citizens and businesses will not use the technology if there is a lack of trust. Domestically, Singapore worked to establish our Cybersecurity Act in 2018 to strengthen the baseline protection of our critical infocom infrastructure, or CII in short, against cyber attacks. The Act provides a framework for the designation of this CII and provide the baseline standards for CII owners to adopt. This aims to build a baseline level of trust for our key systems. We are currently reviewing the Cybersecurity Act, given the cybersecurity threat landscape and the business environment has evolved significantly since 2018. The Cybersecurity Act review looks into regulating systems beyond our CII in recognition that we need to broaden our cybersecurity considerations in today's technological landscape and our operating context. So in this review, we are looking at bringing new groups under the ambit of our Cybersecurity Act, such as entities that hold sensitive information or technology that would be of national security or public concern, for example, our sovereign wealth fund, and digital infrastructure providers that are foundational to our core connectivity stack. Our aim is to ensure that our legislative framework is fit for purpose and continue to provide a safe and secure environment for our digital way of life. Second message, we need to build trust through objective standards for interoperability. It is also important that we develop ethical and objective standards that promote interoperability. Having such standards does not just make our lives easier, it makes us safer. Singapore adopts a principled but pragmatic approach to this. We focus on technical objectivity and quality as opposed to value-based frameworks or ideology. Countries have differing systems of government stemming from a unique historical and developmental path. However, all countries have a common interest in technological advancement, economic development, and progress. From the technical perspective, adopting common and interoperable technological standards make it easier for us to defend our shared cyberspace. The attack surface is reduced when there is no need to defend multiple parallel systems. So in Singapore, we started by launching a voluntary cybersecurity labeling scheme that aims to provide greater transparency for security of consumer IoT devices by rating smart devices according to their level of cybersecurity provisions. Under the scheme, smart devices are rated according to their cybersecurity provisions. The scheme is still relatively young, but since it was launched in 2020, we have labeled more than 250 products from leading global brands such as Google, Azure, TP-Link, D-Link, Linksys, Netgear, Nokia, and the list just goes on. Singapore has partnered with Germany and Finland to mutually recognize each other's cybersecurity labels. This mutual recognition will ease cross-border testing and certification cost burdens, and encourage more companies to develop smarter, safer smart devices. Singapore is also working with countries at the International Standards Organizations, ISO, to establish a universal labeling framework. As we often say in Singapore, we want to make cybersecurity a business advantage, not an onerous compulsory requirement. That is what we are trying to do with our own initiatives like the CLS. Third point, building trust through common understandings of responsible state behavior in cyberspace. It is important that we commit to the strengthening of a rule-based multilateral order in cyberspace. Such trust and confidence are essential to fostering the international cooperation necessary for addressing the increasing sophisticated and ever-evolving cyber threats. Cyber threats are transnational and must be mitigated to ensure the security and reliability of global communication systems and critical information structures which undergird our digital economy. This is pertinent for all countries, especially small and developing like Singapore. Singapore currently chairs the United Nations Open-Ended Working Group on the security of and in the use of ICT, which advances the development and implementation of norms of responsible state behavior in cyberspace. The inclusive nature of cyber discussion at the UN allows all states, regardless of large or small, to have a voice in decisions. Singapore is deeply committed to keeping discussion in the UN productive and focused on practical and concrete cooperation, so as to translate the principles into action and implement common norms. This is why we spearhead activities such as cyber capacity building for UN member states and the development of a norms implementation checklist for state to reference. These are meant to strengthen all nations' ability to effectively participate in and maintain the rule-based order in cyberspace. In closing, I would like to just emphasize that it is in everyone's interest to build a secure, stable, and interoperable cyberspace. A secure, stable, and interoperable cyberspace is our strongest hope in navigating a quickly shifting international digital environment, and will allow all of us to reap the benefits of digitalization and improving the economies and living standards of our citizens. I wish you a fruitful Cyber Week ahead, and thank you.